Knicks fans, the news is official. Landry Shamet is back in New York. ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Shamet has agreed to a one-year, non-guaranteed deal to return for his 8th NBA season, and his agent confirmed it. And on top of that, Stephen Bondy adds that Garrison Mathews is also heading to training camp on a deal with the Knicks to compete for a roster spot alongside Shamet. Now look, I know what you're probably thinking. We already heard Shamet's name linked to the Knicks for about months now, and that's true, but this move is about a lot more than just re-signing a shooter. Let's break down what it actually means for the Knicks rotation, the depth chart, and where Leon Rose could go from here. Alright, so first, Landry Shamet himself. He's a career 38% three-point shooter, and last season with the Knicks, he was just under 40%. In fact, in 2024, he ranked 4th in the entire NBA at 44% from 3. That's elite floor spacing, and we know that next to guys like Brunson, McHale, OG, and Towns, shooting is the single biggest need. So bringing him back, even on a non-guaranteed deal as it is here, makes total sense. But here's the key, Shamet had other options. According to Ian Begley, he prioritized continuity with the Knicks and wanted to help them chase a title. That's big. He could have just signed somewhere else, maybe had a bigger role, but he chose to stay in New York. That tells you two things. Number one, the Knicks culture under Brunson is real, and number two, Shamet sees himself as part of this championship puzzle. Now add in a fresh face in Garrison Mathews. Knicks fans might not know him as well, but he's another high-volume shooter, 39% from 3 over his career, and he's averaged 7.5 points per game in limited minutes. Bondy reports that he's going to have to fight Shamet for a spot. That right there tells you that Mike Brown and Leon Rose and the front office wants camp competition at the shooting guard position. Nothing is guaranteed, not even for Shamet. This also connects to the bigger picture. Why Malik Beasley has fallen off the Knicks' radar. Remember, Begley said that New York was hesitant on Beasley because of his legal situation. So instead, what do? They double down on Shamet and bring in Mathews, two low-risk shooters who can be evaluated in camp without locking into a guaranteed contract. That's smart roster management. So what does this mean for the rotation? If Shamet sticks around, which I expect he will, he's your 9th or 10th man, spacing the floor off the bench, sliding in lineups with Brunson or Hart, maybe even plugging in next to Clarkson or McBride in second units. If Mathews somehow outplays him in training camp, and there's always a chance that that does happen, you got a cheaper version of the same skill set. And if neither guy sticks, you've still got flexibility to add a different veteran before the season. To me, this is the Knicks keeping their options open while addressing their biggest weakness, shooting around their stars. And don't forget, this is still on a non-guaranteed contract. If the Knicks decide later that someone like Brogdon or even a bigger name is available, they can pivot quickly. So while it might not feel like a blockbuster, today's news is more about setting the stage. Shamet and Mathews are officially in the mix, Beasley is out of the picture, and the Knicks are building a roster where every last spot is competitive. And look, that is exactly what a championship contender should be doing in September. And speaking of the Knicks' future, we just got word that Mike Brown is bringing in Billy Lange to run player development. Stephen Bondy reported it yesterday, and this is a pretty big deal for the young guys on the roster. Lange is 53 years old, and he just spent the past 6 years as head coach at St. Joe's. But Knicks fans might remember his work with the Sixers during the process years. He oversaw development for guys like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Markelle Fultz, Jeremy Grant, and even TJ McConnell. Basically, he's been a lot around young talent. And for the Knicks, this is huge because we're talking about Pacome Dadier, Tyler Kolek, Kevin McCullough Jr., Mohamed Diawara, Ariel Hukporti, Dink Pate even, and James Nagy. And they were all drafted recently, all needing real reps and development. Under Tibbs, these guys barely played, especially in the playoffs. And then Mike Brown came in, promising player development would be a priority, and now we're seeing that vision put into place. It's also worth noting that the Knicks rotation is basically 9 deep right now, with one roster spot left for a rookie vet minimum deal. But over 82 games, injuries happen, rest days happen, and when that happens, you need young guys ready to step in. Billy Lange could be the difference maker in whether those kids can capitalize on the opportunity. And on the international front, here's an interesting update. The Knicks reportedly tried to bring in Roman Sorkin from Maccabi Tel Aviv for a short trial period. He's a 6'10" forward/center who's been rising fast in Europe, and the Knicks even offered Maccabi up to $1 million if they signed him after a 4 to 7 day workout. But the club flat out rejected that offer from the Knicks. They want Sorkin as their lead big this season, and they couldn't afford to lose him right before things kick off. The crazy part is that Sorkin had an NBA opt-out clause worth $500,000 that expired back in late July, so now the door is shut until next summer. he really boosted his profile at Eurobasket 2, averaging 16.5 points and 6 boards, and he dropped 31-7 in Israel's opener against Iceland. So clearly this is a name to watch for the future. The Knicks already showed interest, but the timing just wasn't right. And Knicks fans, by the way, quick reminder, channel memberships are finally here on KNYT. There are 2 tier levels available, and if you join, you'll get access to exclusive perks like loyalty badges, behind the scenes updates, and member shoutouts in future videos. It's an awesome way to support the channel and be part of this growing Knicks community. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.